Hey folks, thanks for coming over to Capitalism for Good. This is a part of a larger project where I am on a mission to interview 100 business leaders about the positive impact that they have on their internal and external communities. It is through these interviews that we will dig into how we can use the ways in which we make and spend our dollars in order to benefit the greater good. Hey folks, today we have Julia Dietmar, who is the co-founder and CEO of a company called Open Wardrobe. They have an app, a browser extension, all sorts of different things. Again, I'll put links in the show notes to where you can find Open Wardrobe, what they're all about, and any other company that is mentioned as we talk today. But specifically, Open Wardrobe, it is an organizational tool via an app or a browser extension, utilizing AI to help you organize your closet, be intentional about your spending when you are making purchases specifically related to clothes. There's also an education piece. They have partnerships with closed circle economic models like ThreadUp. They also have a partnership with a tailoring and alteration platform as well. So it's kind of like an all-in-one stop shop. You know, one of the things that stuck out to me with Julia and Open Wardrobe is their use of technology and AI and leveraging that for good, specifically in the sustainability space, which is kind of what Capitalism for Good is all about here. And she, in the things that she's created with Open Wardrobe, really was the kind of push that I needed as someone who is less versed, more of a newbie, a very much like a junior novice when it comes to understanding technology, AI, the tools that are available to us, and all of those kinds of things. And so really trying to evaluate what she was doing and what she was building, and to feel like I could be somewhat intelligent when I was talking to her and kind of knowledgeable about the things that were going on. She kind of was the driving force to me to deep dive into what was going on. And truly, I mean it. These are her words, not mine, using technology for humanity, I think is a really great way to kind of sum up how she is leveraging technology in order to do something good. For her, the driving force was sustainability, and to get folks to be thoughtful and intentional about their purchases and the way that they kind of make their decisions when it comes to their clothes and their wardrobe. So I thought that was really cool. She also has kind of a driving force behind her and her leadership philosophy that matches right up with a lot of things that we talk about when we go into the lifelong learner mentality. She expects her team to be able to keep up with the things that are going on, the lay of the land, how things are changing, know about the tools that are available at any given time. And I think that those things are something that are really admirable. And then, much like when we talked to Keith Bradley and Kyle Parsons, who just kept going back to the core values, she talks about it with the phrase clarity of purpose, for which you can act upon, and using your curiosity as kind of a driver to fall back onto. And I just thought that those were things that were really important and really thoughtful when looking at how we do this. How do we use capitalism for our good in the future? We also have some really lighthearted moments we get into. She has a chief of cuteness, which is her dog, Charles the First. That's kind of a little plug to watch it on video or check it out on YouTube, or check out her website. There'll be links to the website and any other company that is mentioned in the show notes, so that you can kind of check out what their chief of cuteness looks like. So adorable. Loved it so much. Loved this conversation. Loved everything that we learned from Julia today. So enjoy. Here, where I'd love to have you jump in is just start with like a general kind of background on yourself and a little bit of your career journey that brought you to your current position now as co-founder and CEO of Open Wardrobe.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, my journey started in retail tech almost by accident. I worked at a startup that back in 2011 got acquired by Walmart.
Hmm.
And that's how I started in retail tech. And Walmart is a really, really good company to learn retail. I was exposed to different verticals. I worked with merchants and office supplies and in furniture and home and apparel. So learned a ton. It was a very, very educational experience. Um, I have always been drawn to intersection of data and technology and how people actually live and shop using data and tech. So the pivot to create Open Wardrobe kind of came from exposure to data and tech and retail. After Wardrobe, I'm sorry, after Walmart, I worked at a company called ThredUp that sold secondhand clothing.
Mhm.
So that was kind of my exposure to more of sustainability, the circular economy, and more of the apparel. And then from there, I went to a deep tech company where we were building AI for retailers. And because it was all based on computer vision, apparel lent itself very well. So 90% of our customers at the time were in fashion and apparel. So with that, I kind of was exposed to all the issues that retailers were facing, overproduction, not knowing what people want, really having to discount heavily when they make mistakes in figuring out assortment. So and yeah, and then with all of that experience, I kind of knew there had to be a better way to help people make better decisions on what to buy and how to buy and how to use what they already have. And one of the biggest lessons for me was to kind of learn how to build iteratively and listen closely.
Mm.
And when I was working with apparel retailers, same questions kind of kept coming up. How do we know more about our customers? How do we help them? How do we help them beyond when they just buy from us? And when we first started with Open Wardrobe, we focused really heavily on this question of how do we help people to really figure out how to utilize more of what they already have, and if they need to buy something, how to do it more intentionally and more mindfully. So that's how we kind of started.
Can you give kind of a general overview of Open Wardrobe and all of the things that you do with that?
Yeah, so Open Wardrobe is really kind of think about it as wardrobe management platform, right? So anything that you have to do around clothing or decisions about getting dressed, this is what we're helping with. You can start with digitizing your wardrobe, tracking what you wear, what you don't wear, planning outfits. We have AI that recommends how to put items together in outfits. You can kind of spark your creativity kind of just by pairing different things together. You can also track things that you wear a lot and don't wear. And what you don't wear, we have integration with Poshmark. You can resell one button click directly from our platform to Poshmark. And also we have integration with repair and alterations platform.
Mm.
So if you have, let's say, a garment that needs to be taken in or needs to be hemmed, or you just bought something that doesn't fit quite perfectly, but you like the item, instead of returning it, you can just very quickly send for alteration. So all of that is part of the platform. And we also have a very practical education because we're trying to, some people come to us just for organization and tracking, but some people come to us to figure out how do I dress better? Not in the sense that I want to be more fashionable, right? Some people do want that, but some people just want to understand what suits them and what doesn't, and how to put certain colors together, and how to select the right silhouettes for their body shape. And we offer that very practical education, and we're kind of demystifying this whole styling aspect that anybody can look good with whatever their personality is, whatever their lifestyle is, whatever their budget is. So that's what Open Wardrobe is all about.
I love that so much. And that it's this comprehensive thing. It's not just helping you with this one piece. It's kind of like all together. I almost wonder if part of the motivation or part of the idea behind it is to get people to like pause and think a little bit before, whether it's before utilizing an outfit, before donating something, before buying anything, regardless, it's kind of changing it from maybe like a passive decision about a purchase or about the use of a thing. And it's more of like trying to get you to be a little more like intentional and thoughtful about everything that this touches. Is that at all right?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's the whole idea was rooted in changing how we relate to our clothing,
Yeah.
right? So how do we turn it from this cycle of impulse and waste into something more intentional, like you said, something more expressive, more
Yeah.
sustainable? And I really believe that we should feel empowered and not overwhelmed. Like right now, if you go on social media and you see all these influencers doing unboxing and I'm trying this clothes, you feel overwhelmed. You don't know what to do, right? So I really am motivated by creating technology and tools that feel human, and technology that supports better decisions without adding this overwhelmness and adding to the noise that we get bombarded with every day.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit more about the technology that makes you feel human piece or the technology that feels human piece? And I'm specifically thinking, I'm talking to the people in my network. We're talking about like headlines and the pros and the cons. And there are some people that are like really pro technology, really into utilizing AI. And there are some people that I wonder if it's the education piece or if it's the knowledge or whatever it is, but it's a little bit of like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Even if it's got a good kind of motivation, a good mission behind it, like open wardrobe with that sustainability, kind of intentional piece, it's like, I'm not going anywhere near it because I don't know enough about it. And can you talk a little bit about what maybe like pros, cons, high level, what is the use of technology in today's world, specifically like the energy consumption, the privacy concerns, and those kinds of things, and maybe how Open Wardrobe is utilizing it if you're
Yeah.
willing to? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of hype,
Yeah.
a lot of fear
Yeah.
swirling around AI. Some of it is warranted, especially when it comes to privacy and energy consumptions, right?
Hmm.
But we also need to distinguish between like high impact industrial AI and more personalized, lightweight AI, like what we use in our everyday lives, right? I mean, everybody's using ChatGPT these days, right? It's helping. It's not really taking away anything from you. It's your helper. Same thing, AI that we use inside the open wardrobe. It's designed to help. It's designed to spark creativity. It's very lightweight. It's nothing that is telling you what to do or judging you, or it's
Yeah.
just saying, hey, here are some ideas. You like it, great. You don't like it, great again. So I think that Transparency, user control,
Mhm.
efficiency should be kind of the baseline for everyone building AI. But again, some of the fears and some of the hype is warranted because of energy consumptions. But it's again, when you take a look at it on the industrial scale, when you look at it in isolation, it's a lot more lightweight, right?
Yeah.
Light touch.
Yeah. I love that phrase that it's not judgmental. It's just meant to give you an idea. Like it's just a tool and you
It's
can
just a
kind of
tool, exactly.
choose and direct how you interact with it.
Yeah.
In doing some kind of background preliminary research on Open Wardrobe before we talked, one thing that I was looking at is the different things that you offer. So you've got the
Hmm.
browser extensions versus the apps. Again, for anyone who's kind of turned off or a little tech adverse or just not as well versed as knowledgeable, can you kind of talk about what those differences are between those different things that you offer?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good question. So we often offer three things. There is a mobile app. So mobile app is obviously something you need to download from Apple App Store or Google Play and install on your mobile phone. The second thing is the web app. Web app is pretty much same functionality, same thing, but you don't have to install anything. You just access it on your browser from any device. And then the third thing that you mentioned is the browser extension.
Yeah.
So the mobile app and the web app are for managing your wardrobe. That's where you digitize your clothes. That's where you keep your digital wardrobe. You can plan outfits there. You can do all kinds of different things that I mentioned before.
Yeah.
The browser extension is where we meet you while you are shopping. So
Mhm.
let's say you are shopping on Macy's.com or on Nordstrom.com or on any e-commerce site. Through browser extension, you can access your digital wardrobe and our AI while you're shopping. So for example, if you are on, let's say, Macy's.com and you're looking at a blouse or a skirt that you are considering purchasing, through our browser extension, you can say, you can ask our AI, show me how would I wear this with clothes I already own? And it'll start spitting out, ideas of how you can wear that skirt with what you already have in your closet. It's really just designed to help you shop a little bit more mindfully and make decisions about, do you like this with what you own? And pretty soon we're going to have, does it fit my body shape? Does it fit my coloring palette? All of that. So it's all designed for you to make these decisions before the purchase rather than buying something and trying it on at home, returning it, or even worse, just keeping it in your closet with tags on and never wearing it.
Yeah, I started smiling while you were describing specifically the browser extension because the way you described it reminded me of when I was a kid growing up and I would go shopping with my mom anytime that I was like, oh, I really want to buy this shirt or this skirt or whatever it was. Her rule was always, you have to think of and tell me three or five, or she would pick a number of different outfits that you would wear that with. And I would have to be like, okay, I would wear it with this pair of pants and these shoes. And I would have to like think through all of those things. And she'd be like, all right, we can justify buying it. And I still kind of to this day have a little bit of that mentality of like, okay, what would I
Amazing.
wear that with?
It's amazing. So your mom was definitely
Yeah.
the one of the very few people who were shopping very mindfully, even before all these tools existed. So now we are helping do exactly that.
Mhm.
But when you shop online, even when you shop in store, you can very quickly, if you have your phone with you, your digital closet with you, you can
Yeah.
open it up and say, maybe even take a picture of that item and say, show me how I would do it. You
Yeah.
don't even have to think anymore. We can do thinking for you.
Yeah. Another thing that just dawned on me, and I wonder if or where this fit into the calculus for you when you were coming up with this company was, yes, it's absolutely helping out with the sustainability, keeping clothes out of landfills, all of those types of things. But I imagine that it's also a tool when it comes to like frugality and managing your money and
Oh
those
yeah.
kinds of things. Like you're intentionally purchasing something that you know that you're gonna wear and that you know you're gonna use, or you're helping someone look at what's in their closet instead of buying. And the phrase like in today's economy, like,
Hmm.
I think that people are kind of looking potentially differently at their budgets, and this seems like it would fit in. Was that a part of the thought process when you were coming up with Open Wardrobe?
It was not initially the part of the thought process to be completely
Yeah.
honest, but very quickly we started seeing things like people are tracking things like cost per wear,
Yeah.
right? So they buy something for $100, they wear it 20 times, and they're like, okay, my cost per wear is only $5. How do I can I reduce it even more? How do I? So it's becoming very interesting. And now that we are helping people to visualize, so oh, you have not worn this in 18 months. Do
Yeah.
you want to resell it? We actually, with our AI, we can give you a very good idea of how much this item is worth for resale in the current market. So if I am, looking at Banana Republic sweater, I want to resell it. We can tell you in the United States, Banana Republic sweaters resell for this range, right?
Yeah.
And so it's for the frugality perspective, kind of managing your money perspective, not only you can keep track of, okay, this is how much I spent,
Yeah.
this is how much, how many times I wore it, this is my cost per wear, and this is what I can recover. Now I'm done with this, I can resell it.
Yeah.
So we give you your investment, how much you spent, and the resale value of your whole closet or your individual items, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, that's great. And I love that you were transparent about like that wasn't a part of the original idea, but yet you've started to evolve and integrate some of those things. And I imagine that happens a lot also with just technology in general,
Yeah.
specifically AI. I mean, I think back to a year or two ago, what was available and what we were using in everyday life, in the workplace and all of those kinds of things. It's changed so much. Are you guys finding yourselves adapting quite a bit and adding new integrations and new pieces and new focuses kind of as you go and as these things evolve so quickly?
Absolutely. So you mentioned AI. So just if you think about how AI has evolved in the last 3, 4 years, since we started, right?
Yeah.
Um, AI that we've built for outfit recommendations is built on, kind of quote unquote old technology now.
Mm-hmm.
So now we are redoing everything with all this advancements in AI lately. Now we can do so much more and so much quicker.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So yeah, we absolutely every day we're learning something new, and every day there is something new coming out from companies like OpenAI and Microsoft and Google. So we're always on the lookout, and we're always adapting, always changing. Product
Yeah.
is never done. It's always
Yeah. I wonder if that mentality serves you well, that it it along with like your career trajectory, I'm thinking specifically back to when you were working for a startup, and I have also been in that world. And when you're working for a startup, no matter what your role is, no matter what you're doing, you're kind of wearing seven different hats and you're doing different things and you're adjusting constantly. And I wonder if that has really helped you thrive in this current environment as someone who's leading a company using technology. You've already got that skill that you've honed and you've learned so well from that startup world. Do you feel that at all?
I don't know. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's that or it's something else. It's kind of hard to pinpoint at this point.
Yeah.
But it's interesting what you said, if like constantly evolving and changing, if it's helping. And it can be very exciting and very helpful, but
Hmm.
at the same time, it can be difficult to stay focused,
Yeah.
right? Because you're chasing this new thing
Yeah.
constantly. So that is something that I'm still working on that because I am by nature, I'm a very impatient person. And something new and something exciting is always more exciting than what I'm doing right now.
Right.
Right? So that becomes a bit of a challenge, but still it's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah. I wonder, you brought up a really great point with that, it's difficult to kind of stay focused. I wonder, as CEO of a company, again, in today's world, with all of this changing, with so many things being dynamic and also having, like you said, so many new things that can be really exciting. Like, what's your leadership philosophy to try to like create or maintain or impose some stability on with your team there?
It's okay. So this is a really, really good question, and I'm constantly kind of working on myself and evolving there. So the main thing is I want to make sure that everybody learns
Yeah.
new things, right? Because in this environment when things are moving so quickly, especially for people who are kind of earlier in their career or maybe even in the middle of their career, staying up to date is super, super important. So as new tools come out and as new things come out, I want to make sure that whoever is working with us is taking advantage of that. Having said that, we have very strong kind of principles and values that we kind of come back to.
Yeah.
Are we doing this because of this new shiny thing or because it's
Mm.
still a core value
Yeah.
and provides core value to our customers? So I think it just needs to be balanced.
Yeah. I love that you said that. There's a way back in kind of the early interviews that we did. Keith Bradley, he owns a company called Made in Kansas City, exactly like it says. Everything is made in Kansas City with local vendors and makers. But he was talking specifically about that he had a consultant come in and kind of look at his company and look at the things they were doing. And one of the things that he took away from it is those core values are not just written on a piece of paper and put on the wall and then forgotten about, but it has to be something that you continuously go back to when you're making all of these decisions over and over again. And you have to really live it and not just have them be like, yep, we believe in these five
Yeah.
hot button words.
Kind of clarity of purpose, right? If you have that
Yeah.
clarity of purpose and you act on it,
Yeah.
even if it's not easy or things are not popular. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's absolutely, yeah.
What are those core values that drive open wardrobe? Or I'll also let you say if you want to talk about like what are the core things that drive you as a person and a leader, or both.
Yeah, so for open wardrobe, it's always been about mindful dressing,
Mhm.
right? Are we helping people to dress mindfully? Now, sustainability is a big theme.
Right.
But for us, we're all about empowering individuals to make conscious decisions about if they want to be sustainable, more sustainable, right?
Yeah.
If they don't really care about sustainability as a
Right.
cause, right?
Yeah.
We're still helping them be mindful about and more intentional about how they get dressed, whether it's dressing in what they already have or buying something new or reselling or whatever that is. Um, And it's all about really just kind of empowering you, however you want to be empowered. We have lots of tools. Some people care about money, some people care about style, some people care about organization. It's very different for everybody. But whatever you're about, it's kind of about empowering you as an individual to dress more mindfully. So that is kind of one of the core things that we're looking at and we're doing. And
Yeah.
every tool that we're building, every algorithm that we're creating, it's always like, is this going to help
Mm-hmm.
with that mission?
Mm-hmm.
And for me specifically, I'm kind of I'm curious about
Yeah.
where this technology and the AI is going to go. I think there's going to be a lot of advancement, even more coming very, very soon.
Yeah.
The way we were shopping before is already changing a lot.
Mm.
There are lots of super interesting companies popping up that they're doing very interesting things and in retail tech.
Yeah.
So that's what drives me personally. Is just kind of trying out new things and for me, it's just like it's all about really having fun, honestly.
Yeah. I love that. And something that you said, I'm so glad that you brought it up when you were talking about empowering people to make conscious decisions. And not everyone, it's hard for me to say this out loud because it's something that's so core to who I am as a person, but not everyone cares about sustainability. Not everyone
Absolutely.
cares about this eco-friendly thing, but there is some value, and I myself also have to remember this. There's value in just adding to someone's confidence as a person. Like I do think that there's value in like if you look good, you feel good. And if you
Hmm.
feel good, you look good. And like that helps the way you present yourself in the world and the way you interact with your family and your neighbors and everyone that you come across, your coworkers and all of those kinds of things. And like that that also should be spoken about. And I also felt the need to say that out loud because I can often harp about like sustainability and
Yeah.
eco-friendly things. And then I'm like, well, there are other values outside of that that people could be getting from it.
Absolutely. And I love what you said about giving people confidence, right? Because we have this thing called style blueprint.
Hmm.
And it basically analyzes, your colors, your body shape, your personality, and it kind of gives you suggestions. Like, so for you, it's like, you need to wear, this is your color palette, and these are your silhouettes, and these are the brands that kind of match your style personality.
Yeah.
And what I find really interesting, because sometimes people go through it and then they write me,
Mm.
or we do like mini sessions one-on-one. And it's typically two things. One is, oh my gosh, I knew that I hated yellows or oranges, but now I understand why. And you basically confirmed my what I subconsciously knew, right?
Yeah.
Or it's the another way where people's like, I absolutely had no idea how to, what would look good on me. I kind of could look in the mirror and see, yeah,
Yeah.
maybe, but now I know. Now I know, and it's very simple. And
Yeah.
now I'm not even gonna try to fit into a dress that my friend looks good in. And I
Yeah.
keep trying and thinking it's something wrong with me, but it's not. I'm just so it's very interesting. It's really kind of giving people confidence in understanding what works, what doesn't work, and yeah, people just like, yep, I was right. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. I keep going back to like I think a theme of what I'm picking up on from so many of these leaders that I'm talking to is like knowledge is power, and
Hmm.
both empowering and imparting this additional knowledge on your customers and your clients and the people that you're working with, but also I'm going to go back to that like lifelong learner mentality that it seems like a lot of these very successful leaders are folks that have like a very a wide and varied background, and they're searching for these different things. And like you're talking about, like evolving, and that tech is going to change, and we've got to stay up to date. We've got to make sure everyone on our team is learning and those kinds of things. And like I I personally am also someone who, anytime that I feel like if the world gets a little topsy-turvy, or I don't really know what anything means anymore, like being able to find ways to equip myself with some knowledge, I'm like, all right, we can handle this. I understand what's going on now. And I just think that that is powerful in and of itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
That like lifelong learner, like evolving mentality, is that something that has always been a part of like the way in which you move throughout the world? Or like is it a conscious thing? Or do you think that you're just like it's just the way it is and the way you work through things?
It's definitely not a conscious thing. I wish it was,
Yeah.
but it's not. It's kind of like sometimes I feel you kind of go with the flow and you do things because you have to do things in a certain way, right? But when you're looking back, you're like, oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was that because of ABC and I did that because of XYZ. But it's definitely it's not conscious for me. It's not.
Yeah. I'm wondering specifically, I'm going to go back to when you were describing Open Wardrobe and the different like
Hmm.
integrations that you have going on, those partnerships with Poshmark and the repair and alteration companies and those kinds of things. Was that something that you implemented very early on, or did it take some time to for Open Wardrobe to get established in order to pursue those types of partnerships?
It took a while. It wasn't very early on. So I mean, we've been on the market for about 3.5 years. Um, these partnerships exist for less than a year.
Yeah, okay.
Um, so it took a bit of time, but I always, from the very beginning, I knew that I wanted to build an ecosystem of services.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that was always the plan. It's
Yeah.
just by the time we got there, I some time needed to pass because there were other things that we needed to put together in order to even pursue those partnerships.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was always part of the plan to have them, and more is coming. There's going to be more.
Yeah. Do you want to talk any at all about that? Maybe where you see Open Wardrobe going in the future, where you're thinking in the future, maybe what you're hoping for in the tech world, any all of the above?
Yeah, so for open wardrobe in general, right? I'm really focused on expanding the impact
Hmm.
by bringing open wardrobe to more people and forming deeper partnerships with more companies, more services like that.
Yeah.
Um, we talked about kind of technology for humanity, right? So one of the things that we're looking at, and we've been doing this already, um, we do provide AI for recommending outfits, but we also have human stylists on our platform. So we're going to be expanding that, and it's really kind of more for those people who want a little bit of a personal touch,
Yeah.
right? But also, we happened completely organically. I found out that there are personal stylists who use our platform to manage their businesses, to
Yeah.
manage their clients. So why not give them more tools? Why not expand? So that's possibly another avenue that we'll be looking at, and having more services to add for donations, recycling, stuff like that.
I have to say, I think that's genius to be able to partner with those people who are those human stylists. And like marketing it or having it being utilized as a tool for those experts. I that partnership seems, I mean, now that you say it out loud, it seems obvious, but it's like groundbreaking to be able to one help expand their business, and that's a clear like partnership there. But I also think that it's so cool and such a great idea to partner with those smaller independent businesses and be able to, much like you were talking about, like your ecosystem of services and idea and creating these partnerships with other people, like that sounds like a really perfect fit for open wardrobe.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to bring more. You mentioned small businesses, right? It doesn't
Yeah,
even have to be like a legitimate small business. It
right.
could be a mom,
Uh-huh.
stay-at-home mom who has an amazing style and can do this very much part-time,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Um, or it could be somebody who's actually making a living
yeah,
by styling other people. So it's yeah. So this is definitely something that we're looking at. One thing, and then this is kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, being non-judgmental, right?
yeah.
AI is good because it's not judgy.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I want to make sure that our whole platform is a safe place, whether you're being styled by humans or AI or your friends or whomever, right? Or
Yeah,
community. It needs to be very kind of safe place where people want to be, rather than, oh, I went to the stylist and she told me I'm all wrong. No, you're
right.
not, right? So
I love
that
that.
is something that I'm very, very much thinking about.
Yeah, I love that so much. I want to kind of go back to your kind of big picture about this being an ecosystem of services and your example of how it you started really launched 3.5 years ago. It wasn't until the last year or so that you were able to kind of pursue those types of partnerships. What advice do you have to other entrepreneurs and founders out there that have these big picture ideas and these big kind of hopes and dreams, but are in kind of the grind of now, but first we have to do this and first we have to do this. And sometimes I think it can get a little discouraging. At least I have been in that world. And sometimes you get a little discouraged by how small those baby steps feel. Like, what advice do you have for folks who are just starting out?
And it's just one step at a time.
Yeah.
Just keep swimming. Like just keep going. Yeah, it never gets better in terms of it's always the grind and it always feels like it's not enough.
Yeah.
But what helps, and my co-founder and I like talk about it a lot, and he always says, just look at how much we've done in the last year. And you look back and you're like, oh yeah, I've done all that. But at the moment, it always feels like it's not enough. You need to move faster, you need to go bigger, whatever that is, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very much up and down every day. But yeah, just keep swimming as long as it's fun. When it stops being fun, then maybe it's time to quit or do something else. But as long as it's fun and we're learning something,
Yeah.
yeah, why not do it?
Yeah. That's that's a good reminder. And you brought that up also when you were talking about like your personal core values and the things that kind of motivate you and keep you going. What is that for? Like, what does fun look like for you? Is it like the fulfillment? Is it passion? Is it your work environment? Is it the balance of your personal life? Is it something totally different in general?
I think it's all of the above.
Yeah.
And for everybody, it may be very different, right?
Yeah.
So for me, it's knowing that I'm doing something that actually makes at least somebody's life better.
Yeah.
And for me, when I get emails from people saying, "Oh, you cured my shopping addiction," or "You helped with my ADHD," I have this attention deficit disorder, and I used to be super stressed when I got dressed every morning, and this helps. Or somebody would say, "I used to have huge closet and always felt like I have nothing to wear, and I have small closet and I have outfits pre-planned for a year." When I get stuff like that, that makes me feel that in at least a small way, we're doing something that helps people, right?
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing. And another thing is just really, I've learned so much in the time that we started doing that. I'm not a marketer. I'm not I do not like social media.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I
Social
can
media
relate.
and
Uh-huh.
I do not like each other.
Yeah.
I am, I've, I'm not a writer. But I had to learn all of these things. And some are not fun for me, but some are actually super fun.
Mm.
So, so yeah, it's just really learning these new things and having this positive feedback from our customers. That's what keeps me going.
Yeah. I have to imagine that that is a good reminder when you hear those things from your customers. Like if you're having a not fun day where all you have to do is social media stuff or write stuff or whatever it is, that like it's just you're just getting through it. You're just doing the thing. To be able to hear back from those folks has to
Absolutely.
be like, oh, okay, this is a good reminder of why we're doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for example, I spent the last weekend editing videos.
Yeah.
I am not a video editor at all. But
I
I had to
relate.
do it because I had to publish it.
Yeah.
And it's grunt, it's not super fun, but somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, but today I'm talking to you, that's more fun.
I know. I'm very thankful that you were doing this. When you were talking about fun things, I was waiting for you to say, bring up your chief of cuteness. I was like searching on
Oh,
my laptop on the same screen next to you so that I could find. I couldn't remember what title that you had given him.
chief
I
of cuteness, that's right.
so adorable. Who came
He,
up with that idea?
I did. So his name is Charlie.
Yeah.
And when King Charles became the king,
Uh-huh.
and we started calling our Charlie your cuteness
Oh,
instead of your majesty.
yeah.
So his cuteness, Charles the First. That's our Charlie. So, and that kind of evolved into Chief of Cuteness because I wanted to put him up on the website. Yeah, he is a very, very adorable. I'm just going to show you one picture.
Yeah.
Um, so we had, I need to find it first. So it was, he's 7 years old now.
Okay.
So, and we got him, he's a rescue. He's a
Mhm.
rescue puppy. He was rescued in China
Okay.
and came to us on the plane.
Yeah.
It was in 2019 and just became a member of our family very, very quickly. So super, super cute. I'm trying to find a picture. Okay, so this was during Halloween at the
Yeah.
office. I dressed
Oh
him
my
up.
gosh.
Yeah, it's really,
Oh,
really cute.
he's so fluffy.
It's very fluffy. Yeah, that was his like on my,
Oh,
so yeah, super cute.
oh
And
my
he's a
gosh.
lap dog, loves to be cuddled.
How can you not have fun when you have that guy around? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I love it. Okay. I could talk about Charlie this entire, I really tried to hold off asking you anything about him if you didn't bring him up until towards the end so that I didn't talk about him. I grew up with collies, like the big, fluffy, giant collies, and I, I challenge anyone to not have fun and not enjoy their surroundings when they've got a cute little
Yeah.
dog to pet. Uh,
Dogs are the best.
yeah. Okay, in kind of thinking about your impact and the things that motivate you and where your where kind of where your joy and your excitement kind of comes from. I end every one of these interviews with the same question, and that is, who's another business or leader that you see out there in the world that's doing things the right way? And it could be anyone from someone you're a customer of, a boss, a client, a coworker, absolutely anyone that you think deserves a shout out.
Yeah, so there is another startup. It's called Daydream.
Okay.
The founder, Julie Bornstein, first of all, she's an amazing marketer. She's an amazing person. Um, and why I love what she's doing. So Daydream think about it as a way more sophisticated search than Google when you need clothing.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go and then you can actually talk to the site,
Yeah.
and you are asking for a solution, not a specific problem, not a specific product. So instead of saying, give me a red dress,
Yeah.
you're saying, I am going on vacation to whatever, Sweden in the month of July, and I'm going to be hiking, and I have an event, and I need clothes, I need outfits.
Yeah.
And so, what is really great is Julie understood that people, especially in this day and age, they need solutions, not things. And that's why I think what she's doing is really, really, really great. They just launched maybe a couple of months ago. So it's brand new. So yeah, it's super cool.
I love that. And I I mean obviously that's also super fitting with open wardrobe. I mean that phrase, people need solutions, not things, that that sounds like everything that you've just described with open wardrobe as well. That doesn't surprise me that that kind of lines up with kind of where your brain is there.
Yeah.
I love that so much. All right. Thank you so much for doing this. This has been such a joy. I love talking to all of these people who have these ideas and these cool things that they've brought into fruition and that they've created from the ground up. And even more than that, I love hearing about how it's so much more than the actual thing. You know, like it's so everything that is in your brain and that you're thinking about and the motivations, it's so much more than an app. And that's, I guess, the point of all of this. And I just think it's so cool. So thank you for doing this, Julia, and thank you for everything that you're doing in general with Open Wardrobe. And I am so excited for what you guys are going to do and what you're going to do in the future. I wish you all the best. I just think this is so cool.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on. It's been a lot of fun.
Thank you so much to every single person that's listened, every single person that has told someone else about it, that has shared an episode, that has sent a blog post to someone else to read, that shares on social media, that responds back to me, that engages and lets me know what they think and what they're hearing. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed through the Patreon. These subscriptions are what fund the project and keep it going. There's so many different tiers available starting at $1 and $2 a month, and each tier gets you access to different kinds of things. So, for example, the $2 a month listener tier gets you access to interviews on Thursdays, so early access to the audio and video versions of interviews that are out every Thursday, typically in the evening time. Your $3 a month member tier adds on these weekly between the interview series on Mondays. That's what I gave a little sneak peek. There are some early examples of those between the interviews that were posted on the main feed, so that folks could kind of get a lay of the land and what's behind the motivation for this project. Those reflection episodes are still going every Monday, and the folks in that member tier are still have access to those things. The VIP tier has access to merch. I really do my best to give back to those that are joining. So check the show notes for the link to the Patreon. There's a lot there if you're interested in any of the behind the scenes of like how this project gets made from the back end. Like if you are someone who is interested in starting anything that looks similar to this, whatever your topic is, like I am really open, just like I'm asking these folks that I'm interviewing about like the mistakes that they made. I do my best to be very open about the mistakes and the lessons learned that I made, plus the resources that really helped me, the people that I'm looking up to. Like yeah, why not share my experience there? So that's all available there. And just in general, I truly want to hear from you. So please message me on Instagram, message me on the Patreon, leave me a review that tells me what you think of it. Email me your thoughts and your suggestions, including the things that you don't like. I got tough skin, people. You can tell me the things that I need to improve upon. I am very open about early days, early stage, that I this entire project and almost everything that goes into it is brand spanking new to me. And I am learning, not just from these leaders that I'm interviewing, but I'm learning about the technical side of things. I'm learning about social media. I'm learning about advertising. Like I'm learning about all of these types of things, and I am happy to share what I have learned as well. And so I want your feedback. I want the things that I'm not talking about that you want to hear about that is within this Capitalism for Good space. So reach out to me. I want to hear from you. I truly do. Send me your thoughts and I'll do your research. Like I said, I really am listening and kind of creeping to see where people are coming from, where you're located, what your interests are. And so if there's an industry or an interest of yours that I haven't hit on that you are really interested, like send me your thoughts. If you have a question that is related to this Capitalism for Good project, I'll do the research here. So send them on over. I'm already doing it. I might as well do something that fits what you're asking for and what you're looking for. Finally, my last little plug and shout out here is if you are interested in working together to build better community, check out the business website for CFG. It's at capitalism-for-good.com. There's also a link down in the show notes. And whether you are interested in starting or expanding a community give back initiative with your company, if you want to plan a volunteer day and you don't want someone that's already your full-time employee taking away from their normal job to do it, if you're looking for a charity partner within a specific space or that aligns cleanly with your company values and your philosophy, or if you want to perhaps talk about some education around the value of community partnerships and what that can add to your business if done well and done efficiently and effectively, I would love to help. So I'd be happy to get on a phone call, see how CFG can help you with your community goals. Once again, would love to hear from you if you've got thoughts, needs, questions, interest anywhere within that space. I truly believe that we are stronger when we work together, and that we can truly make a really impactful, positive future if we just put all our brains and our skills together and leverage those things to build better community. So, all right. That's enough. Let's go leave this place better than we found it.